everyone. Welcome to our fall prevention presentation at the Senior Community Center. I'm Leah, and together with my fellow presenters, Brenda, Amy, Destiny, we hope that you will find this information helpful in your daily lives. We are occupational therapy students, and we'll talk more about some of the things that occupational therapists do a little later in the presentation, for those of you who may not be familiar. We've given you some resources with the information also to take home with you. Our hope is that the information we share today will help you decrease the risks of falling so you can continue to enjoy all the activities you love. By the end of this presentation, you'll be able to understand the elements associated with fall risks and how to minimize those risks. Our goal is that you know the facts about falls in older adults, identify potential fall risk factors, identify fall prevention strategies, as well as complete an 8-step home exercise routine to help improve stabilization. So what do you need to know about falls? You may know someone who's had a fall. Think about how their lives were affected by that. Have you ever experienced a fall or a fear of falling, or thought about the impact it would have on your life? Well, here are some facts that may shed light on why it's so important that you're here today. 30 million older adults fall each year. That is over 1 in 4 adults. So if you think about it, there's about 32 of you here today. That means 8 of you here would have fallen in a year's time, which really has a significant impact on your functioning and your independence. 1 out of 5 falls results in a serious injury, such as broken bones or injury to the head. And this could place a serious damper on overall activity, exercise, and social engagements. When my mother-in-law fell and broke her hip, her daily routine was really affected. After surgery, she struggled with activities of daily living, like walking to the bathroom, going to the bathroom, even just walking downstairs to get the mail was really difficult for her, especially in those following weeks after surgery. And even though she recovered, for many others, a fall could cause a shift in how you approach life. It can cause an overall decrease in activity and then a longer-term decline in health. So let's prevent this if possible. Falls are actually responsible for most traumatic brain injuries and over 95% of hip fractures. And statistics say that once you've fallen, the likelihood of falling again increases by 50%. Plus, falls are expensive. In 2015, medical costs for falls totaled more than $50 billion. So now let's discuss potential fall risks. We have a quote from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention that says, most falls are caused by a combination of risk factors. The more risk factors a person has, the greater their chances of falling. Some risk factors are included here on the slide. There's a history of prior falls, muscle weakness, frailty, difficulties with walking and balance. Even medications are something to be considered. If there's a medication that makes you drowsy or lightheaded, that will obviously impact the way that you move, and it will impact your safety. If you have impaired vision or hearing, if your footwear doesn't fit properly or your feet are in pain, home hazards like uneven steps, clutter, throw rugs, those can cause slipping. And chronic conditions like permanent sensory loss, prior stroke, Parkinson's disease, dementia, And then imbalance may also cause issues with walking and the pattern of your walking. In addition to the risk factors that are listed on this slide, vitamin D deficiency is another risk factor. Or if you're trying to do maybe two things at one time and not being mindful of where you're stepping or your pace, incontinence, cognitive deficits, and then problems with mobility, just getting around in general, those can contribute to fall hazards. When you checked in today, you might have been handed this form. If so, please take it out now and follow along. If you didn't get one, let us know and we'll make sure you do. I know the font here appears, the writing appears small on the screen, but that's really just for our reference. So if you can refer to the handout in your packet and go ahead and raise your hand if you'd like some assistance reading that form or seeing it more clearly. So on this form, we're going to assess how, if you are at risk for falling. You'll circle yes or no for each of the statements on your form. So the first statement is, I have fallen in the past year. Let's go ahead and mark yes or no. The reason this is important is because, as we mentioned earlier, people who have fallen once are likely to fall again. Next statement is, I use or have been advised to use a cane or walker to get around safely. People who've been advised to use a cane or walker may already be more likely to fall. The next statement is, sometimes I feel unsteady when I am walking. Unsteadiness or needing support while walking are signs of poor balance. Next down is, I steady myself by holding onto furniture when walking at home. This is also a sign of poor balance. Next statement, I am worried about falling. And there's been studies that show that people who are worried about falling are actually more likely to fall. So part of what we're doing today is to raise awareness about how you can prevent that so that we can decrease fear and increase your safety at home or wherever you may be. The next statement is, I have some trouble stepping up onto a curb. This may signify or show a weak leg muscles. The next statement, I often have to rush to the toilet. And rushing to the bathroom, especially at night, increases the chances of falling. If you can't see where you're going, you're a little bit drowsy, your walking pattern might be off, but in addition, you might trip over something that's particularly dangerous at night. The next statement, I have lost some feeling in my feet. You can't sense where your feet are. It's very hard to gauge where you're stepping, when you should step off, and that increases your risk of tripping or falling. Next, I take medications that sometimes make me feel lightheaded or more tired than usual. Side effects from medications can sometimes increase the chance of falling as well. And next, I take medications to help me sleep or improve my mood. Again, that falls in the medication category. And then I often feel sad or depressed. Symptoms of depression, such as not feeling well or feeling slowed down, are linked to falls as well. So once you've circled your yes or no answers, you can total your score at the bottom. And if you've scored more than 4 total points, that would indicate that you are at risk for falling. You can also take this brochure to discuss with your doctor, who may be able to help you develop a plan for practices that will reduce your risk. For example, we talked about medications. A couple of those statements were regarding medications. That may signify that you'd like to get that reevaluated by your doctor. And then also, if you've been advised to use a cane or walker, it may be a good time to consider actually using the cane or walker. Perhaps your doctor could even recommend a home safety assessment by an occupational therapist to ensure that we're maximizing your safety at home. These considerations can really reduce your chance of falling. So next, Destiny will discuss some strategies for preventing falls.
Okay, so now that we have assessed your risk, I will be talking about strategies that we can use to implement to help prevent falling. So it's important to understand that there are 3 main steps to fall prevention. The first step is fall risk screening and assessment. So similar to the assessment that we just did earlier with Leah, this typically includes completing a fall risk or screening assessment that involves questions that typically look like, have you fallen in the past year? Do you worry about falling? Questions like that. Those are typical assessment questions to see where you are on the fall risk spectrum. So for the second step in the fall prevention process, it's tailored and personalized care planning. So with this, this involves a consult with your doctor or other healthcare provider, such as an occupational therapist, for a personalized program that meets your unique needs. So for example, you can consult with an OT for a home assessment, which we will go into a little bit more later. But basically, the OT with a home assessment, they will help you with a screening of your home and environment and come up with a personalized care plan with specific recommendations that are relative to you and your home environment. So every person is unique with a special set of circumstances that impact their fall risk. An OT will also be able to individualize and customize your exercise and balance program to fit your unique needs. The third step in the fall prevention process involves consistent preventative intervention. So the key focus here is consistent. This promotes safety by consistently taking fall preventative measures. So it's important to know that this is an ongoing process of you doing what you need to do in order to keep yourself safe at home and in any environment, really. So with that in mind, you want to ensure that you are being consistent with preventative measures and taking what you learned today and applying it at home every day. So share what you learn with each other and with your community. If everyone around you is on board and supporting one another, then this can help with being consistent with your preventative measures. So, with that being said, I will now go over 6 easy steps that you can do today to reduce the risk of a fall. So, step number 1, find a good balance and exercise program, right? So by having a good balance and exercise program, you can build balance, strength, and flexibility, which will all help to prevent falls. So you want to look for maybe a local area agency on aging for referrals. You can find a program that tailors what you like and bring your family and your friends with you. It'll make it that much more funner of an experience. And additionally, later on in this presentation, we will also be providing you guys with some sample exercises that you can do at home pretty easily later on. Okay, so step number 2 to prevent a fall is to talk to your healthcare provider. So this is an important one. It's important that you discuss your options with your healthcare provider because they will be the ones that are able to provide you with additional information and assessments that will be beneficial for you. So we highly encourage that for you to be open with your healthcare provider about any concerns that you might have with falls. Step number 3 is regularly review your medications with your doctor or pharmacist. So you want to make sure that side effects aren't increasing your risk of falling. Have your medications reviewed each time you get a new prescription. You want to make sure, like I mentioned, that certain side effects such as dizziness, they're not increasing your risk of falling. And additionally, you also want to make sure that you are taking medications only as they are prescribed. So if you're not careful about this, there may be unintentional side effects that could attribute to falling. So with that in mind, again, don't be afraid to review your medications with your doctor or pharmacist regularly. Okay. And step number 4 for fall prevention, believe it or not, your eyes and your ears are key to keeping you on your feet. So annual vision and hearing updates will help maximize your safety at home. Get your vision and your hearing checked annually and update your eyeglasses as needed. Like I mentioned, these are key to keeping you on your feet. And step number 5 is keep your home safe. So Leah mentioned this earlier. We'll go into more detail in this in a little bit, but there are many simple and inexpensive ways that you can make your home safer. So it doesn't have to involve a complete house remodel. You can make your home safe from falls with just a few basic changes. For professional assistance, you can consult an occupational therapist. And some examples of keeping your home safe and hazard-free might include looking at your lighting. You want to make sure you increase lighting throughout the house, so that especially at the top and bottom of stairs. And you want to ensure that lighting is readily available when getting up in the middle of the night. Another example might be your stairs. So take a look at your stairs. You want to make sure there are 2 secure rails on all stairs. One more example would be in your bathrooms. So one thing you can do in your bathrooms is you can install grab bars in the tub or the shower or near the toilet. Make sure they're installed where your order will, wherever you would actually use them. For even more safety, you can consider using a shower chair and a handheld shower. But for more ideas on how to make your home safer, the Centers for Disease Control, also known as the CDC, they actually offer a home assessment checklist in multiple languages. And we will be going over this checklist together here shortly after this. But the last and 6th step to prevent a fall is just talking to your family members. So enlisting support from your family members, it's a simple step that you can take to stay safe. It's just important to remember that falls are not just your issue. By getting support from your family members, you are also ensuring safety for everyone.
So I'm going to go further into home safety because I believe that that is a major concern for falls since our environment needs to be safe to promote fall prevention. So this that you have, you received a copy of this, so you should have this in front of you. This is a checklist that goes over some of the safety hazards to look for in your home. So this is a good resource to take home with you and start looking to see if any of these safety hazards are present in your home. And if they are, then you can start taking the necessary steps to address those hazards. So I don't want to, I do want to go over this checklist, but first I want to add that if you have fallen in the past or if you are at risk for falling, you can speak to your doctor and they can actually refer you to an occupational therapist. And an occupational therapist can come into your home and actually conduct a home safety assessment and provide recommendations and action steps to make sure that your house is safe and or kind of go over what needs to be addressed and take care of whatever needs you have in that scenario. So, okay, so now I'm going to go over this checklist with you. So, it's broken down into several sections. The first section is stairs and steps. So, this is indoor and outdoor. And the first question reads, are there papers, shoes, books, or other objects on the stairs? So if that is the case, you always want to keep objects off the stairs and in any walkway in general. You don't want to have clutter because you're more likely to trip over something. The next question reads, are some steps broken or uneven? So if this is the case, you want to get those fixed because it's very easy to trip also. The next question is there a light and light switch at the top and bottom of the stairs? You always want to have good lighting. It helps with, obviously being able to see where you're going and preventing a fall. The next question, has a stairway light bulb burned out? So if there's any light bulbs burned out in your house, you want to get those fixed. Again, you always want to have proper lighting. Is the carpet on the steps loose or torn? You want to check for this because sometimes, if it's uneven, again, you can easily lose your balance and fall that way. The next question is, are the handrails loose or broken? Is there a handrail on only one side of the stairs? So it's important that we have handrails, especially as we get older. It's always just safe to have something to hold on to in case we were to lose our balance, we don't fall completely, right? So we want to make sure that we have handrails and that they're not loose, wobbly, things like that. Next, we're moving on to floors. So this question reads, when you walk through a room, do you have to walk around furniture? This is important because if we have furniture in places where it kind of makes your house or your space to walk more narrow, then you're more likely to bump into it and possibly fall over. So you may want to ask someone to help you move the furniture and set it up in a way that promotes larger hallways, better walking space. Next question, do you have throw rugs on the floor? So the thing with throw rugs is that it's very easy to possibly slip. So that we recommend that you remove any of the throw rugs or use a double-sided tape or non-slip backing on the back of the throw rugs so that they don't move. The next question, are there papers, shoes, books, or other objects on the floor? So similar to having clutter on the stairs, you just don't want clutter in areas where you're constantly walking. The next question, do you have to walk over or around wires or cords, such as lamp cords, telephone cords, extension cords? You want to make sure that the cords are hidden because it's very easy, again, to trip over cords. So now in the kitchen, oops, sorry about that. Okay, So in the kitchen, are there things you use often on high shelves? If that's the case, you want to redo or order your stuff where the things you use often are on the lower shelves where you can reach easily. That way you're not having to, reach too high or, avoid a stepping stool if you don't have to use it, not use it. So it's better to just have things where they're at arm's reach. Um, if you do have to use a step stool, is that step stool sturdy enough? You want to make sure that the step stool that you use, that it has a grab bar to hold on to, and never use a chair as a step stool. So you want an actual step stool with a grab bar that's sturdy. Okay, so now into the bedroom. Is the light near the bed hard to reach? You want to make sure that the light is near your bed. You don't want to wake up and reach over and lose your balance and fall off the bed. We don't want that to happen. So we want the light nearby or the light switch nearby. Is the path from your bed to the bathroom dark? So as we mentioned earlier, you always want to have proper lighting. You don't want to wake up in the middle of the night going to the bathroom and lose your balance, fall over. So always proper lighting. And finally, in the bathroom, is the tub or shower floor slippery? Obviously, we know wet surfaces are easier to slip on, so we always want to make sure that we have non-slip rubber mat or self-stick strips on the floor to prevent us from slipping. And finally, do you need some support when you get in and out of the tub or up from the toilet? If you do need some support, there's always grab bars that you can have installed in your home, and they make everything much easier, less likely for you to fall. So yeah, these are all things that you can start to check for in your home. And these are, as you can see, some of these things are very easy to fix, such as replacing bulbs, proper lighting, have someone help you with those things, exchanging your throw rugs, or just making sure that they have the proper padding to stick to the floor, removing clutter. These are all things that are very easy to do and very inexpensive. Rearranging furniture, and it goes a long way. It really can reduce your chances of falling, like majorly. And as I mentioned before, you can also have an occupational therapist work with you and come into your home and actually assess and facilitate this process.
Exercise program is an important step to help minimize your fall risk. When creating a home exercise routine, you want to consider doing exercises that match your skill and ability level. Remember to perform exercises safely. If you feel wobbly in a standing exercise, please do the activity from a seated position. And if you begin to feel dizzy, please do the activity more slowly. And if the dizziness persists, then stop that activity. Also, it is important to maintain control of your body's movements. So move slowly with control and don't rush the movements. When using a chair for support, make sure your chair is sturdy. And I prefer using a chair with armrests. Now you may be asking yourself, how do I begin to make exercise part of my daily routine? First, keep it consistent and manageable. Second, choose a time each day that you're alert and energized. And third, following the 8 exercises we teach you today is a good starting point. Let's start with 4 exercises that promote stability. Stability refers to controlling your body as you move. This is a dynamic movement, such as the act of moving from sitting to standing position. Please follow along as we demonstrate these stability exercises in this video.
For this first stability exercise, we're going to practice knee extension and flexion. So sitting tall in your chair with your feet on the ground, you're just going to extend one leg out in front of you, hold it for 5 seconds, and then bring it back down to the ground. Once you do 10 on one side, then you also want to do 10 on the other side.
So for the next exercise, we're going to do knee raises. For this one, you want to sit up nice and tall in your chair, and we're going to lift one leg at a time, making sure to lift your foot off the floor. You want to do that 10 to 15 times each leg. And this one you can either do sitting or standing as well.
Okay, so for this exercise, it's called sit to stand. You're gonna sit, come forward in your chair because it's easier to stand from this position. Make sure both feet are flat on the ground, and you're gonna stand, hold, you can squeeze your butt, and then come back down. You can look back to grab onto your chair if you feel more comfortable, and then sit. And you can do this 10 to 15 times. This exercise is called the leg curl. So for this exercise, you're going to grab the back of the chair and hold on for support. And you're going to bend one leg at the knee, shifting your weight to the opposite leg for support. So you'll hold this position for 5 seconds, 3, 4, 5, and then switch and do the opposite leg. And you can repeat this 10 times to 15 times.
Okay, so for the next 4 exercises, these exercises will promote balance. Balance refers to your ability to control your body when you are not moving. This is a static position, such as standing still. Please follow along as we demonstrate these balance exercises in this next video.
For this first balance exercise, we're going to do head rotations. And so for 30 seconds, you just want to slowly rotate your head to each side, bringing it back to center, and then moving it up to the ceiling and down to the ground. If you start to get dizzy, please slow down. And if you're still dizzy, then please stop the exercise. The next exercise is a standing reach. So you want to move your legs shoulder width apart and put your hands out. And then you simply just want to reach to one side, holding it for 5 seconds, coming back to center, and reaching to the other side. And you want to do that 10 to 15 times to each side. For exercise 3, you want to practice standing over the shoulder. So you want to turn your head to one side, looking over your shoulder. Take a few steps. And then turn your head to the other shoulder, looking over that shoulder, and taking a few steps. The fourth balance exercise is the standing leg stand. So if you need a chair for support, that is great. What you want to do is you want to stand with your legs hip width apart, and then shift your weight, lift your knee, hold it for 15 seconds or up to 15 seconds. Put it down Shift your weight to the other side. Lift that leg for 15 seconds. And you want to complete that sequence 10 to 15 times or as appropriate for you. Thank you.
It's important to cultivate both stability and balance in order to minimize your fall risk and build your confidence. It's also important to emphasize doing these exercises safely when you're exercising. Working with an occupational therapist to customize your home exercise program may help to build your confidence and increase your motivation. An occupational therapist can help tailor your home exercise program to meet your specific needs as you build strength and endurance. Now that you've seen the exercises, let's do them together in a mini routine, starting with knee extension and flexion. So go ahead and sit tall in your chair, and then just straighten right leg. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back down. Left side, straighten left leg. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, back down. Second side on the right. Lift and hold. And down. Left side, lift and hold. 2, 1, and down. Last time for right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back down. Last time for left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good job, you guys. Okay. Still sitting tall. Now we're going to go into knee raises. So keeping your right knee bent, but just lifting your foot off the ground. You hold it. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down. Nice job. Lifting left side. And hold. 3, 2, 1. Good job. And down. Right side lifting and holding. 3, 2, 1. And down. Good job. Left side. 4, 3, 2, 1. And down. Last time for right side. Lift and hold. 3, 2, 1. And down. Left side. Left side. 3, 2, 1. And down. Good job, you guys. Okay. Sitting up straight and tall. Feet firmly planted on the ground. Maybe hips width apart. Just sit to stand. We're going to shift our weight forward. Plant our feet. And then rise slowly up. Take a breath. And then lower yourself slowly down to the ground, to the chair. You can use your hands for guidance or you can proceed. And we'll do that again. Weight forward. And stand slowly. Pause and breathe. Lower yourself back down slowly to the chair. Breathe. Last time. Weight shift forward. Rise slowly to stand. Take a pause. And then lower back down to the chair. Good job, you guys. For this next exercise, knee curls, we're actually going to start in a standing position. Use the chair if you need it for support. And then we're just going to bend at the knee and raise our foot off the ground. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. And left side, shift your weight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down and shift. And right side. 3, 2, 1. And down. And shift and left side. 4, 3, 2, 1. And down and shift. And last time to right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down, go down. Last time to left. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down. Good job, you guys. See how easy that can be at your home? Now, let's practice this balance routine together. So first, Starting with legs hip width apart, standing tall, we're just going to practice head rotation. So right side, left side, neutral, up, and center or neutral, right side, left side, neutral, up, down, neutral, right side, left side, neutral, up, and down. Good job. The next thing is standing reach, so you want to widen your base slightly and then put your arms out and vertical reach to the right. And come back to center and reach to the left. And come back to center and to the right. And center and left. And center and last time to the right. Left time to the left. And back to center. Good job, you guys. How are you feeling? This last one is over the shoulder walking. So you're going to turn your head over your shoulder on one side, and you're going to take 3 to 4 steps. And then you're going to turn your shoulder over the opposite shoulder and take 3 to 4 steps. Once you're done, you'll feel that stretch in your neck. Then come back to that right side. Take 3 to 4 steps. Then left over left shoulder. Take 3 or 4 steps. Last time for the right. Take a few steps. Yeah, if you need your walker, use your walker for sure. And left, and left, and left. Good job, you guys. And then this last one is last because it's a little challenging. So if you can't do it for a full 10 seconds, that's okay. Just do your best. So from a standing position, this is similar to one of our seated poses. Hold on to the chair if you need to, and then lift your knee up so your foot comes off the ground. And we'll hold this for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, you do it. You do. Okay, down. Shift your weight, and then bring your left knee off the ground, left foot off the ground. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Take it out if you need to. Shift your weight, and then bring right foot off the ground. Extend in. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nice job. Put it down. Shift to the right side. Lift up left. 10, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down. Okay, yeah, this is the last one for the right. So lift up right leg. Make sure to breathe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And down and shift. Left leg. Last one. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. And down. Good job, you guys. So you can see that in just a few short minutes, you can start to increase your balance and stability. Thank you.
Amy there got you all moving, so that was nice to see you all getting stronger already. Just to recap on the steps to fall prevention, it is so important to know how to prevent falls. So we wanted to show you a quick video to just refresh your memory, and hopefully this information really sticks. So I'm going to play that video now.
are preventable. Start with 6 easy steps. First, find a balance or exercise program to help you build stability, strength, and flexibility. Make it fun and go with a friend. Don't be afraid to tell your doctor if you've had a fall or are afraid of falling. Ask her to assess your risk of falling. Discuss medications with your pharmacist or doctor. They'll know what prescriptions and over-the-counter medications can increase your risk of falling. Make sure you get your vision and hearing checked every year because your eyes and ears are key to keeping you on your feet. Keep your home safe. For example, remove any items you might trip over. Make sure your home is well lit. Use bath mats in your shower and install grab bars in the bathroom. And finally, remember, it's important to talk to your family. Ask for their support in taking these simple steps to stay safe. Falls are not a normal part of aging. But every 13 seconds, an older adult visits an emergency room for a fall-related injury. Luckily, you can take steps to reduce your risk. Visit ncoa.org/falls prevention to learn more.
Okay. So that was a nice little video. I hope that helped. So moving on. This is a fun part. So now we are going to test your knowledge. In your pamphlet, you have these questions and there's a space for you to write down your answers. So I'm actually gonna give you some time to do that. But at the same time, I do want to just throw these questions out there, and if anyone wants to just participate and respond, that would be awesome. I want to know what you guys learned today. So I'm going to read the first question. It says, what are 3 ways you can make your home safer?
Hi, Brenda. This is Anne.
Hi, Anne.
Hi. I was thinking I had some things on my stairs that maybe I could, it sounds like those might be dangerous. Like I could maybe move some things off of my stairs out of my way.
Thank you, Anne. Yes, that is a easy fix, right? And that can make a world of a difference. So yeah, removing clutter, as we mentioned, is very important. Anyone else want to share?
Hi, Brenda. My name's Beatrice. And as you were talking, I was thinking about my shower actually has a step down into it. And every once in a while, I think, oh no, I'm going to slip. So like you guys said, it would be good, I think, if I got maybe a grab bar and maybe like slip-proof mat for the floor.
Yes. Thank you, Beatrice, for sharing. Definitely a grab bar to have that support when stepping over. And yeah, the non-slip, of course. Those are great. Yeah, great. I'm glad you guys are actually really taking in this material. It's so important. So thank you. Thank you for sharing. So moving on to question 2. What is one step you can take to reduce your fall risk?
Hi, this is Martha.
Hi, Martha.
I'm actually here for my husband and I, but he's not here. But one thing that I just realized was that he's been on this medication for like a long time. But lately he's been complaining that he's dizzy. And I'm thinking maybe it's his medicine.
Thank you,
So maybe
Martha.
I can call the doctor.
Yes, it can be the medicine, as we said. So definitely talking to your doctor and seeing, or your pharmacist, and seeing, what some of these side effects are, or, they can handle that whole situation with medication. So, yeah, that is a great action step to talk to your doctor about that. Thank you. So last question. This is actually gonna involve some demonstration. So would anyone want to volunteer to demonstrate one exercise that you could do at home to minimize your risk for falling? Oh, hello. I can't hear you. Can you speak up a little louder? Sorry.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. I like the leg raises. You can't really see me, but I don't think I need a chair, but I'm just gonna grab one just to make it stable. But
Yes.
just lifting the legs, I like that one because I can do that really easy.
Yes. Thank you. That's a great one. And these exercises are very, they're very easy to do at home. You don't need any equipment really, right? Maybe a chair. But yeah, thank you. All right, it looks like you guys learned a lot. I'm so happy. Um, ooh, okay. So that was our presentation. I just want to thank everyone for joining us, and I'm really glad that we were able to share this information with you. I hope you find it valuable. I hope you are able to take some of these action steps to prevent falls. It is so important, as you saw. A fall can lead to just, being hospitalized, losing your independence, just affect your quality of life so much. So if we can prevent that, which we can by taking these steps, it'll make a world of a difference. So we're actually going to stick around for a few, like maybe an hour or so. If anyone has any questions, don't hesitate to ask. We'd love to answer any questions you may have. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.